Shemai Elite Dangerous Chums, and welcome to my guide on surface combat zones, ground combat zones. If you have the Odyssey content to be able to do those, it's the on-foot battles. You can do it engineered or unengineered. Obviously, engineered is better. So first, you're going to have to choose your star system. So you want to go to Inara and choose a system that's either in war or civil war. You also need an Orbis or a Coriolis star port. It's not essential. You can just rock up in the system and fly down and crack on, but you will not know whether it is a high, low or medium intensity. And you're going to need to know that based on your experience. So yeah, if you're confident, crack on with a high, but I would probably start initially with a low intensity, which has less rewards, 120 grand and only 1 star of reputation. But if we go to this one here, we've got 3 stars and 300 grand, so treble the money pretty much. And allegedly you can earn 100 million per hour. I'm not sure about that, I'll conclude that in a minute. But also, the other thing you can choose is what style of site. Horticultural is not my favourite, but by far more important than that is whether it's got gravity. Low gravity is better, so this is the lowest gravity in the system, so we're going to choose that. Let's cancel the enlistment. So combat bonds can be redeemed at this chap here as well as enlisting. If we enlist, it just means we can choose to fly out in the shuttle right here, which is a vulture. Don't bother doing that. Choose your own spaceship. So that is the way to do it. So what spaceship do you need and what weapons do you need? Let's crack on with that. You want to come to Pioneer Supplies immediately to get your spacesuits and your weapons upgraded, but first we'll just have a quick look at consumables, get medkit and energy cells to the max, and of course frag grenades, etc. But looking at the stock, now there's a limited options for stock unless you're at Shinrata Deseret. And notice these are all G1, so pre-engineered. Dominator suit is the one you want for ground combats. It's got more shield strength than the Maverick suit, but the Maverick suit is the one you want to engineer everything. So this is for settlement raids, missions. So this is the more important of the 2 suits, I would say. You could even use it for ground combat zones if you wanted. But there is pre-engineered suits and weapons at space stations randomly. So every Thursday with the update, you'll see on the left hand side you'll get some pre-engineered, which can be G2 or G3. But if you want to engineer your suits and weapons, so here's the weapons. You want to go to Shin Des, as I said, to get the full range. But looking at the suits, if you want to upgrade them, you can upgrade them at the space station, which is very good, up to G5. All you need to gather is these materials here. But if you want to add improved battery capacity, for example, then you need to unlock and go to fly to engineers in order to do that. Now, your Maverick suit is there, but let's look at the Dominator. So this is the one for ground combat. This one came with night vision. I might not have added that with hindsight if I didn't come pre-engineered. But faster shield regen and battery capacity are essential, I'd say, for the Dominator because it has low battery power. Extra ammo capacity is also marvellous as well, so I don't need to reload at the ammo boxes too much. Maverick suit, you could, to compare, notice the shield strength on the Maverick suit G5 is 30.4, Dominator is 33.4, but the Dominator gives you 2 main weapons over the Maverick, so it's far superior for that reason. That's the upgrades that you'll put on. Now, looking at the weapons, weapon upgrades, again, you can upgrade these at the space station with these. But the first weapons I'd recommend you use is the laser and the kinetic. So the Aphelion is the best choice with laser weapons. So this is going to be your assault rifle equivalent, and what I've put on it is greater range, because you're working at range a lot of the time, but the most important one and every weapon I've used is stowed reloading and magazine size. The mag size isn't as important on this, but stowed reloading is the essential for me because that's the way I play. I like to swap quickly between weapons and they reload while they're in my pouch, but if you don't put that on, they will not reload by themselves. Faster handling is also helpful for this as well, so I have that. So you need to buddy up the laser weapon, so the laser will bring down the enemy's shields. You want a kinetic weapon to finish them off. That can do it, but it's far better to use this one, the AR50, which has stowed reloading mag size. and faster handling, but the headshot damage is up to you really. This came with headshot damage, which is why I'm building this one up. I've not figured out what to do with it yet. So that is the choice. You also have SMG varieties, but I don't use any of these really. The Eclipse I've not used a lot. This is the laser SMG. The C44 I have used. It is decent, but it has a lot more stutter and a lot shorter range compared to the AR50. So I prefer to use these weapons at range with the Aphelion. So that's why I've got a more ranged weapon. I think it's better overall. So those are your kinetic weapons. Oh, I didn't talk about the... this is the other one. Now this is the rocket launcher. Now you can use this. It's a bit of a spam weapon. It runs out of ammo really quickly, so you need to do lots of reloading. So you want mag size, you want stowed reloading, you want faster handling on that. You could have one more as well. You could put a silence on it if you really wanted to do. But that is also another option which is worth considering. Now, the elephant in the room is that the plasma weapons are the best in the game for damage, and that's the annoying bit. But the best plasma weapon is actually down here, the Tormentor. This is a sidearm, and I recommend you use this sidearm to get used to using plasma weapons, and because this is going to be very useful for settlement raiding missions to upgrade your weapons, get the materials in the first place. So for that reason, you've got noise suppressor and for indoor silencer, audio masking for outdoor silencer. Yeah, stupid, I know. Stored reloading is more important though. And magazine size, especially for doing combat. You'll never run out of mag size. Well, you do actually sometimes. So that's your sidearm. But you could use the P15. That is also a good sidearm to use. That's a kinetic variety. But you're giving up on shield attack there. The Intimidator is... So if you're going to go full plasma, what I would recommend is the Intimidator. This is the plasma shotgun. Now, this has a massive spread, so it's not focused at all. And it's laughable shooting from range, unless you add the scope upgrade, which ridiculously will focus the spread of your shotgun pellets, and you can shoot at medium ranges. Stored reloading and mag size especially are essential. Gives you 3 shots rather than 2, which is kind of ridiculous because it's got 2 barrels, but there you go. So you want to buddy that up, so that's short to medium range. You want to buddy up with a long range weapon, and the Executioner is the choice. Now this is the choice for outdoor silent killing in raiding missions, silent kills, so suppressor and masking for that reason, and mag size and stowed reloading. But you could use that from range and buddy up with your Intimidator at shorter range. So that is the choice there. The Oppressor is the kind of the really poor child of the plasma family. Do not buy this weapon. I bought it to try it out just to see that it is as terrible as Yannick says. It is. Don't use it. It's got the thing is the problem with the plasma weapons is they have a really short slow shot speed, but they have huge damage. Look at the damage on the Executioner, 44.7. Look at the damage on the Pressure, 2.4. So you have the worst of both worlds: slow shot speed and low damage. So it really needs buffing for sure, because that weapon at the moment is useless. So those are your weapons. Let's combat. Park your SRV somewhere where it's hidden from the surface defences, those guns on the top there, and then hopefully it'll survive. Once you're in your SRV, you can choose to join the war, but do not do it at this point. Make sure you get out of the vehicle and jump to somewhere high before you join the old battle. So here we are up on the roof. Press and hold E button and you'll get to join a faction to fight for. This is a high conflict zone. All of the examples here are high conflict zones. So we're starting off with G1 weaponry. The Aphelion laser rifle and the Tormentor pistol and the AR50. So notice how accurate it is shooting from range with the laser rifle. It's very good. Once the shields are down, switch to the AR50 and gun them down. Make sure you press R to reload as much as possible to make sure you don't end up with no bullets. We've got the laser pistol there. This also works okay, but you're probably better at shorter range than this. Notice that we can use little bits of the environment for cover, so I'm hiding behind this silo thing in front of us. Check out your radar, so you can see the little red triangles are enemies moving around. Make sure you know where they are and where to hide from them. Now, this is an L6 missile launcher they're shooting at us. If that hits us, it's going to bring our shields down. We don't want that to happen. As a beginner, again, a missile launcher, I just jumped over the missile there. But as a beginner, make sure you're surrounded by green triangles, as in your friends, because they can cover you. Make sure you recharge as much as you can to make sure you do not lose your energy, because then you'll die basically. Now, make sure you get new ammunition as well. Don't run out of ammo at all. And one thing that is going to happen for sure is that you are going to die. So don't worry about that. As long as you've parked your SIV in a decent place, there's a good probability of it surviving, but this is when your SIV will get destroyed. Even in that nice place I hit it before, where nobody could hit it, it will get destroyed every now and then, but it seems to get destroyed less often. So this is it. You can change your loadout at this point if you so wish, but don't retreat from conflict zone, because that'll get you out of it. So don't worry. When you jump out, make sure you press boost before you hit the ground, because if you jump from high up, you might take a little bit of damage. Now this is G5 weaponry and above from here on in. Notice how the Aphelion is taking the shields down a lot quicker, and the AR50 is a lot more effective. And we're working off the ground, closer up as well, but we're using cover, and you dodge out behind cover, hide when your shield goes down, and make sure you know your buttons for the health packs, which I think is number 6. And energy pack is number 7, I think, so make sure you know those for sure. But keep an eye on your health, basically. So we're using the quick switch between the Aphelion and the AR50, and that's because we got hot swap. Now when outside this building, we're using the Aphelion to take the enemy down. Notice we also have the support of our team here, so it gives us a bit more confidence to go in and get amongst them. So I'm going to switch to my Tormentor pistol. This is a plasma, and this will work on shields and armour, and they're down quite quickly. We've also got, I think, one more chum there. Just checking out. There they are. Back to the pistol. 2 shots and they're down. This is G5 at its best. Now, this chum here knocks down our shields. We do kill them, but because we have lots of greens, lots of allies around, we've got the confidence to carry on in the battle. Because normally, if you have enemies, they're only going to focus on you if you're by yourself, basically. So you need to make sure, if you can, have the team around you, and if not, make sure you have your shields up. So the Aphelion and AR50 combo, unlike what Yannick says, is very good for beginners to get into the game. But now we know how to survive, we need to figure out how to win. So these control points, so notice it was red because the enemy were taking over it, are the ones to attack and defend. So at this point I have failed with this particular control point, but you need to make sure you don't fail at everyone, otherwise they will start winning. So again, the Aphelion from distance, even if you don't finish off with the AR50, if you have some allies down below attacking, then you take the shields down, they'll finish them off, you will still get the combat bombed at the end of the day, you'll still make money out of it. And that is pretty decent in a high conflict zone compared to the low, because you have much harder targets. Now you can see that being high up gives me a lot more protection than being down on the ground, and these ranged weapons are pretty decent as well. Now that Charlie control point has just opened up. Now we want to wait for our comrades to come along and take it on. We don't need to necessarily go down ourselves if they go and engage it. So again, look at that, the shield comes down, look at how much range that Executioner has, the plasma weapon. But we're quite safe up here, so we're quite happy. What I should do is probably press 6 and get a new medic pack, but I've probably run out at this stage. But my chums are taking over that control point, so all I need to do is defend from these enemies that are trying to engage my chums. Again, the shields are back down, but we can help out still from this high point because we're quite safe up here. So shields are back online. Fast regeneration really works its business. Run out of ammo, so we're hitting them with the Tormentor, which, you know, it works okay, even from height. But it would be better lower down, and we would actually hit them as well, I imagine, being lower down. Running out of energy. Now press 7 and engage any cell packs that you have, as I just did. The L6 missile launcher is brilliant at taking out a lot of grouped up, bunched up together enemies just like this. Now this loadout is using 2 L6 missile launchers, one G4, one G5. This is one that a lot of people rave about, but honestly I don't use it a lot because, I don't know, it just runs out of ammo really quickly, and it is very limiting with the kind of gameplay that you can do. So when the thing that is particularly frustrating is facing one enemy. It seems like a bit of a waste to be using your missiles on one enemy, and you also need to fill it with ammo all the time. But it is very good, it is fun for a time, so I do use it every now and then. Now, this is a dropship that's just loaded in a load of enemies, so we need to get in there as quickly as possible to use our missile launcher on them. I've got the Tormentor pistol as my sidearm as well, so it's not the end of the world, but I just wish I had an AR50. But you can do the L6 and an AR50, that's also a very good loadout, and probably my preferred one, to be honest, compared to this one. Notice this elite soldier here. You can take his shields down, but killing him again is quite tricky, and he also has a missile launcher, so if he hits us again, we're going to be dead. Shields are back online though, so if we just go in and try and finish him off, no, we just try and finish these dudes off instead. And like so. Now, the plasmas are the best weapons in the game with regards to power, because they take on shield and the armour. But look at this. This is the worst plasma weapon. I'm very much struggling to get it on target, and I switched to the L6 because I get frustrated with it. Because this is the early days of me trying to use the Oppressor, which is the worst of the plasma weapons, the one I do not recommend. And this is G5 as well. And it takes a long time to kill. But if you get it on target, it's alright. But as you can tell there, I get frustrated and switch to the L6 again. So it could be a skill issue, but by far the best is the Intimidator for shotgun for short range, and the Executioner for long range, as I use here. The Executioner will take any shields down in one hit, and then the second hit will kill them outright, as you saw there. But you really want up close your Intimidator shotgun. So shotgun up close, Executioner at range. So this is what I'm trying to do here in this section and throughout these sections. They are some of my favourite weapons, and probably the most powerful weapons for PvP, but they take a lot of effort to get to know. Now, the shotgun, if you notice, I'm always zoomed in, because it's got the scope on it, which means the shot spread is much more focused. Look at this, this is amazing. Up close, it'll kill somebody in a couple of shots. Elite, that is as well. Reload. And from a more of a medium range, you can kill in this group of soldiers right here. We've got some friends to help us as well, but it is dealing its damage quite nicely. But basically don't fire it off when you've got this experimental effect in anything but the zoomed in, anything other than using the scope. So again, we're mixing it up. So using the shotgun, you can attack at a decent enough range, but it's much better using on a group of enemies bunched together, for sure, or super up close to kill them in a couple of shots. But you can do that same thing of hanging out on the roof and shoot people with the shotgun. It's probably not the best. You want to get up close like this and kill them off. But be careful, because if they have a shotgun, they're going to do exactly the same damage to you, and they may well be much better than yourself as well at getting it on target. So it can be instant death, basically, so be careful. But here is an Oppressor, that's no danger whatsoever. We can get up close, no problem on them. But notice how they run to the side as soon as their shields go down, as soon as they get hit. So you've got to get them on target and be careful, because you've got the it seems like it's slightly better shot speed on the Oppressor, on the Intimidator. Now then, let's use this ammo box for cover and get these guys killed with a shotgun. What an awful miss that was. But once they're together, you can kill them, and It's wonderful. Every time you get a hit, you're going to get a combat bond. Look at that bell end on the hill. The sniper is ideal for taking the shields down, but it's quite tricky once they're moving side to side like that. So what I do to finish them off, I run in on them, which is kind of ridiculous. And this is perhaps one of the most terrible parts of this video. It takes a million shots, it gets my shields down. Now, the shotgun, where it's ideal, is for taking control points when you're up close. Notice that they're distracted by our friends yet again, so that is helping us to keep killing them without getting killed ourselves. So, a lot of schoolboy errors there. Now then, I switch to the sniper rifle and take out that enemy down there. Shows how much range this thing has. Amazing. Using the shotgun again, we've got a load of chums that are taking that control point. We want to take them out. We want to wind them up so that they come at us and get away from the control point and stop taking it. So using this ridge, you can see that it gives us a bit of cover. Oh, they've got the rubbish plasma weapon, and just take them out from range with the shotgun. Again, it's so good up close, very powerful indeed, the plasma shotgun. Perhaps one of my favourite weapons there. Another body killed off. So, looking at the range of this sniper rifle, those guys are on the hill, and I'm winding them up by taking the shields down here. And then they're shooting at me with their inadequate weapons, which is quite funny. But then I switch to the plasma shotgun. Again, it is slightly at range, but 2 shots is enough to kill them, because they're not elite. But take a few pot shots just at those guys on the hill. Got a lucky shot in there. It's tricky, but it's doable. And then to finish off, the plasma shotgun to finish these dudes off. And we've won. It's another victory, a joyous victory for us all. We need to mosey on back to our SRV to relog as quickly as possible to get into a new combat game. So there we go, we just crack on and relog. But if your SRV has been destroyed, then you'll need to do the walk of shame, and then you'll be able to press and hold Q in order to get the side menu, and just go down to your ship to get it recalled, and then you'll have a really long walk. Now, how much money did I make on average? I suppose it's like every session took, each battle zone took between probably 8 and 13 minutes, depending upon how efficient I was. But if for intensive argument, let's say 10 minutes on average, if we were that good, so then that's going to be 6 in the hour. And as you can see here, over an hour, with 6 combat zones, I made 82 million there. And that was kind of the range. Not quite 100 million, but I can see how you could potentially make that if you were better. But you can make okay money doing these as well. And then, let's do the walk to our ship then. One thing to bear in mind though, is it as good as an FPS as all the other FPSs in the real world? Or is it just a fun alternative, which is what I think it is? Drop the questions down below, your comments, and any recommendations for builds as well, and any tips on the combat zones, then do drop them down below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a most excellent day if you're playing Elite Dangerous.